This week at Bungie, we prepare to say farewell to some content that's going to be going back into the Destiny content vault, as well as saying hello to some content that we lost long ago. What's going on, Guardians? My name is The Black Link, and we're here to cover this week's issue of the Bungie Weekly blog, This Week at Bungie. I apologize for the lateness of this one. Got in from work way too late last night, just didn't have the time to get this done. Basically came in and fell asleep, so we're jumping into this now. And we've got some pretty interesting news to cover this week. The first being an update on the Destiny content vault. Before the TWAB itself, Bungie dropped another article yesterday, detailing some content that's going to be going into the content vault by the time Witch Queen goes live, and some content that's going to be coming back. They have a full article talking about everything that they're doing here, but of course if you want the highlights, here's the big notes. The Tangled Shore, the Forsaken campaign, and Year 4 seasonal content will be entering the Destiny content vault in February 2022. Starting on December 7th, the Forsaken campaign will be free to play until it enters the content vault. And some activities like the Dreaming City destination and Battlegrounds will be retained. So a lot of us believed that the Dreaming City itself would be going into the content vault at the end of the current storyline. This would be the end of the story of the Curse of the Dreaming City. Turns out that's not the case. Dreaming City is sticking around, so is Last Wish and all the activities that are tied to the Dreaming City. But the Tangled Shore and the Forsaken story content, that is going to be going away in February 2022 when the Witch Queen drops. Now, additionally, a brand new pack is going to be made available for purchase when it comes to Destiny called the Forsaken Pack. Beginning on December 7th, the Forsaken Pack will be available for purchase and will include access to the Last Wish raid and the Shattered Throne dungeon, as well as access to all of the Forsaken exotics. The Forsaken Pack will also include 3 Forsaken ciphers that can be used to instantly unlock your choice of Forsaken exotics, not including raid and dungeon exotics, via the exotic kiosk in the tower. Everyone who previously purchased Forsaken will automatically own the new Forsaken Pack and will receive the 3 Forsaken ciphers directly in their inventory. If you already have every Forsaken exotic weapon, those ciphers will be converted to Ascendant shards. So that's what's going to be happening with some of the Forsaken exclusive content there. But they do note that some of the content tied directly to the Tangled Shore will be going away, including seasonal content like Presage and the Harbinger exotic mission. So get your presage farming done before Witch Queen drops. And as usual, Bungie goes on to explain that vaulting this content is going to allow them the space to launch the Witch Queen expansion and its new Throne World destination, as well as new features like weapon crafting, the new legendary difficulty campaign option, the new glaive weapon archetype, plus additional content that they have planned for the 4 seasons to come starting February. But in addition to that, some old content is going to be coming back, including a classic raid, 2 PvP maps from Destiny 2, and 1 classic PvP map from the original Destiny. And they'll be sharing more of those details in the months ahead. I'm still not a huge fan of the whole Destiny content vault thing, but I understand the limitations of the system here. As a player, it always sucks to lose access to content that you've already paid for. But on the list of things that make me angry, this is pretty low priority. And like I said, I completely understand that they need to make space for the new stuff that they're putting in. But anyways, that's the news about the Destiny content vault. Let's move on into some of the other things we've got to talk about. Primarily, Festival of the Lost is making its debut next week. And while we won't be getting a full look at what Festival of the Lost is going to entail this time around, we are going to be getting a sneak peek at the ghost shell that's going to become available as soon as the event goes live next week. And this one was crafted by designer Luis Yepes. It's got an awesome sort of Dia de los Muertos kind of vibe to it. And Bungie takes a lot of time to talk about the inspirations for Festival of the Lost this time around, and how they came up with this ghost design. If you'd like to read more about that, I definitely recommend hitting up the TWAB. Of course, there's a link to it down in the description box below. But essentially, the Calavera Ghost Shell will become available when Festival of the Lost begins at 10 a.m. Pacific on October 12th. Players may acquire this directly for silver, or acquire it with Bright Dust when it is spotlighted during the event. But Festival of the Lost is going to be starting in just a few days. We already know kind of what the armor set's going to look like. It's going to be that dinosaur-themed armor that we got to vote on months ago. And again, while we don't exactly know what we're going to be doing in Festival of the Lost this time around, we will be learning that on Tuesday when we get an awesome trailer before the event goes live. I, for one, can't wait for the first event in Season of the Lost. Really looking forward to it. After that, we've got a few patch notes to cover before we end things out. Alongside Festival of the Lost, Bungie will be deploying Destiny 2 Update 3.3.1, and they have a collection of bug fixes and some quality of life items to deploy. Here's a quick preview of the goods. First, we got a change for Grandmaster Nightfalls. They've increased the drop chance for an Adept Nightfall weapon from a Platinum Grandmaster Nightfall all the way up to 100%. Amazing change. They state that while this will not guarantee perfect perk combinations on every drop, players may now expect to receive an Adept reward when overcoming the challenge of Grandmasters, even on the hardest of weeks. This is an amazing change, definitely a necessary one. There was nothing worse than slogging through a seemingly hours-long run of the hollowed lair and then just getting some upgrade materials for your trouble. That felt awful. We've been talking about this on the podcast for months now, that the chances for getting weapons and Nightfall weapons and Adept mods and all that kind of stuff from Grandmasters should be much higher, if not guaranteed. So I'm really happy to see that Bungie is guaranteeing it here. If you get Platinum on your Grandmaster Nightfall, you are guaranteed to get a weapon drop. Fantastic change. It's going to make farming those Nightfalls much, much more tolerable now. Good stuff. Next up, the Corrupted. They've reduced the knockback buff from the Sadia's Durance activity modifier on Nightfall difficulty from plus 40% knockback to plus 20% knockback, which may help a few of you complete Grandmaster difficulty. That whole push attack is just super annoying. They've also removed an unstoppable Phalanx champion from the Ransack Ogre encounter. During the Ransack Ogre encounter, an unstoppable Phalanx champion would spawn in the Ascendant Plane when the Ogre boss reached 50% health. This champion was easy to miss, and you couldn't backtrack there to defeat it once you killed the Ogre. After this champion ruined hundreds of platinum completion attempts, we've snapped it out of existence. It's gone. Dust. Destroyed.
It will never again see the light of day.
That's, what it deserves. They've also fixed an issue that blocked completion of the Corrupted Nightfall scoring triumph, overall making that strike less of a hassle to complete. Alright, moving on from there, we've just got a couple of crossplay UI changes. They've updated the sign-on experience to show a single toast after character select if you have one or more pending Bungie friend requests instead of a unique toast for every pending request. The experience when receiving a new Bungie friend request while playing the game has not changed. This is great because basically when you logged in, you would just get constant, hey, friend request, friend request, friend request, friend request. So I'm glad they got that worked out. The player search UI now has audio feedback, and they fixed a bug where the text chat auto hide setting could revert to the Season 15 default value of off under various conditions. Hallelujah. Thank you, Bungie. This was super duper annoying on PC, where essentially every time you started the game, you'd have to go and turn the chat box to auto hide, and then after you load it into another destination, it would just turn itself back on. They also fixed a bug where booting a fireteam member sometimes left a blank entry in the roster or the fireteam UI, and they fixed a bug where online roster contacts were not sorting alphabetically for friends and clanmates. Finally, they fixed a bug where blocking a player through a fireteam invite did not hide interaction options that are expected to fail when interacting with a blocked player. That's some of the patch notes that we're going to be getting next Tuesday. Of course, there will be more when that patch goes live at reset. So make sure you're staying tuned. But alright, Guardians, that's pretty much it for the biggest bits of news contained in this week's issue of the Bungie Weekly blog, This Week at Bungie. It's weekend time, and I hope you guys enjoy yours. But that's the news, and those are my thoughts. Be sure to leave me yours down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to drop a like, make sure you subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest stuff we're putting out. Can't wait for Festival of the Lost to get started. But I'm out for now. As always, I am the Black Link. You Guardians, stay frosty.